So once again, Nintendo is back to doing random drops on their Twitter account. I thought we were done with this. I thought we were back to Nintendo Directs, but okay, sure, why not? Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition coming out in March. Announced on Twitter. I guess YouTube too, but weird. This seems like something that would have been in a direct. Like, this seems like a pretty big announcement. Xenoblade is a pretty good franchise for them, so why they did this is I have no idea. I'm getting Origami King flashbacks, bro. Remember that was when there was no directs at all. They just randomly dropped that on Twitter. I guess we're doing that again though. We're back to this, but it doesn't matter. I don't even care how it was announced. I am just so happy Xenoblade Chronicles X is finally escaping Wii U purgatory. Don't get me wrong, I love the Wii U. I think the Wii U is a great console, but it's gonna be so nice to be able to play this on my Switch. Just honestly, the biggest thing for me, I just like being able to put the console to sleep. I like not having to turn it on and off. I know it only saves like a couple minutes every time, but like, it's just so much easier. But I'm so glad this is here. Like I'm sure many people are doing on the internet. I'm going to tell you about how awesome Xenoblade X is and the implications of what this release means for the game and the franchise as a whole. Oh man, I'm so happy. Because Xenoblade X, it's a game that I got it on day one. I bought this game as soon as it came out, and that was a really rough day. I had to visit a family member in the hospital that day, and you know what? That experience was honestly, it was pretty traumatizing. It's still, it still lives rent free in my head even to this day, nearly 9 years later. But you know what? It's fine. You know what? We live with it. But you know what? That's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about Xenoblade X, baby. Because I remember my dad, he agreed to buy the game for me, and me and my mom, we went to the Target to go buy it, and I had to tell her, be like, oh, by the way, Dad agreed to buy this for me, and I remember she was not happy. She was not happy at all. She did buy it for me, though. She, you know what? She kept my dad's word. She did buy it for me. And you know what? It came with a $5 gift card to Target. So, you know what? That was pretty cool. I think I ended up using it on her because, you know, they had like a little concession stand in the front or something like that. So I think we just used it immediately right there. But unfortunately, I didn't get to play it right away. Like, I didn't get to play it till later that night because, you know, I had to go get traumatized for an hour. But I remember, man, when I booted up that game, it was so cool. There's no opening like the beginning of Xenoblade X when that rainy valley you're in, being awoken by Elma, and then when you finally get out of the storm, you're just given this vast view of the world. It's so good. It's absolutely fantastic, and I'm so happy so many more people are gonna get to play it because Wii U Purgatory. I think the game only sold, what was it, like 800,000 units, I think? I'm not fact checking that, but I'm pretty sure it was somewhere around 800,000. And well, to be fair, on the Wii U, that's pretty good on the Wii U. Because I think on the Switch, Xenoblade 2 did, I think, over 2 million. Xenoblade 1 Definitive Edition and Xenoblade 3, they're probably hanging around the high mill, maybe close to 2. So the fact that it did 800,000 on the Wii U, which had an install base, like, what, a tenth of the size of the Switch? I honestly think that's very impressive. I just want to throw that out there. But Xenoblade X Definitive Edition is finally going to be answering some of these questions we've had about the game for nearly 9 years now. At least we know it's at least following up on one of the cliffhangers of the game. I'm not really going to get into too much spoilers because, you know, there's going to be people who haven't played it yet. But, you know, finally getting elaboration on that one scene with that one character in the black robe. We typically just call him the Black Knight. We don't know anything about him. We know a little bit of stuff from like the concept stages, but like in universe, we know nothing. So now that he actually has written dialogue, we're actually getting more to that story. I can't believe it. We've waited 9 years. I've been hoping for Xenoblade X2 for a very long time because even before Xenoblade 3 came out, I was like, come on, the next one's got to be X2. It's got to be X2. Of course, it wasn't X2. It ended up being Xenoblade 3, which in itself is a fantastic game. I love Xenoblade 3. But that being said, I really wanted X2. And you know what? I'm hoping Definitive Edition, that might be pushing towards an X2. If this does well, honestly, they might already have something in the works. I don't know. They might just be doing this Definitive Edition now, and then in a couple of years we'll get X2. Because honestly, the place of X in the lore is kind of really confusing right now. For the longest time, X has been like its own separate thing. It was really separated from like the main number games until I guess minor spoilers. I'm not really going to get into specifics, but a very important thing in X is referenced in the Xenoblade 3 DLC. We're not sure if it's just like a little one-off cameo type thing or what, but the fact that it's referenced there, it has thrown into question how relevant X could be to the rest of the games. But that same DLC also references Xenosaga, but Xenosaga and Xenoblade X, they can't exist at the same time because they contradict each other. So where X stands in the canon is completely lost. So it's totally possible that this new story content they're adding in Definitive Edition, it could end up finding a way to tie it back into the mainline games. I would personally rather they didn't. I kind of like X being its own separate thing. Or at the very least, like its own separate universe. I mean, if they wanted to do the multiverse thing, I guess they could do that, but like I would rather just be like, kind of like its own thing, its own story. What I'm really hoping this DLC means is that we get answers to some of the cliffhangers, maybe a couple new ones that really heavily hint at a sequel, because there was so much stuff left on the cutting room floor for X. So I'm really hoping, really hoping this is building up towards an actual sequel, because there's no way they're going to answer every single question in this DLC, or not even DLC, this Definitive Edition, because it's just impossible. There were so many loose ends to tie up, and well, at the very least they're tying up one of them, and I'm excited for that, but there's no way they're going to be able to tie up all of them. So ideally Xenoblade X Definitive Edition is setting up Xenoblade X 2. Definitely won't be on the Switch at this point, because Switch 2 is coming out first half of next year. So that being said, Xenoblade X Definitive Edition might mean we're not getting a Xenoblade game first year of Switch 2, which does surprise me. I really thought we were going to get something in the first year of Switch 2. Literally like a week ago, I had a buddy ask me, hey, you think we're going to get anything Xenoblade related next year? And I was like, oh, we're definitely getting something Xenoblade related next year, just to keep up with that timetable. They were overdue. But I really thought it was going to be an end of year type thing on the Switch 2, but it's not. Although I guess it makes sense to be in the front half. I guess that does kind of line up with their release schedule, I guess, but still, surprising. It's surprising that they didn't wait for the Switch 2 for this. Not that I'm complaining. I would sooner the better. I'm upset I have to wait till March. But either way, Xenoblade X Definitive Edition, it means a lot. It means a lot for both just the X games, or X game, there's only one right now, but it could mean a potential sequel. It means a lot for the Xenoblade franchise as a whole. The lore drops could be completely different. It could completely change the way we look at things. But it also just, it means a lot to me personally. I think it means a lot to a lot of people. But I'm just so happy a brand new generation of gamers is going to be able to play this game. But let me know what you guys think of Xenoblade X Definitive Edition's announcement on a random Tuesday in the middle of October, and not in a direct, no build-up whatsoever. Let me know what you guys are feeling about it, but until then, I have been your favorite fruit kiwi. I will see you later, friends.